This video is brought to you by 86. Pick up video game apparel from Skullgirls and Monster Hunter World. 86.com/?AFF equals 4 and let them know that we sent you.
Who are we going with first? What team was the three in the back?
Yellow, black and yellow jacket. Yellow!
Black and yellow jacket. You guys, I need you guys up here. I'm gonna have you guys go up against this team on our first debate.
We'll get you guys next.
Can I make master debater?
Do losers have
But like, it's implied. I'm not actually saying anything bad. They're just words. Yeah, literally anything is just words. All right, I'm gonna need my first team up on the left side of you guys, at least.
keep my milk?
You may keep your milk. I'm gonna have you guys come up that same side.
Possibly. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we don't have those. Right. We've done like this is our like 15 events so far. We let people get on the show.
We have snacks and candies and other things like that.
There's more.
But I understand that. I understand the concern.
You crushed everyone.
I have that knowledge.
Dave, do you have all the debate topics here? Oh, wow. Thank you. You thought it would. Can our debate mascot be Miku? Absolutely. Team Miku. We're going to get out. Team Strawberry Miku.
Yeah, so I need
I'm cosplaying her tomorrow.
team names. So I believe our team right here is it Sakura Miku? Sakura Miku, and what's your guys' team name gonna be? It's Jay's fault.
Jay.
Who's Jay? Good job, Jay. I like you.
If you win, if you lose, it's your fault.
Babe, where are you? The grand winners also get winner ribbons.
We also have ribbons for the winners.
That's my biggest thing right now. It's like experience points.
Heckin' ribbons, y'all. Because I can't say other words.
Give me ribbons.
Can we see?
I take ribbons.
I mean, if you do, there's nothing I can do about it, but technically you're not supposed to.
Keep going through my ribbons.
Okay, so there's mics in front of each of the teams here. Just make sure everybody speaks directly into the mic. If you don't speak directly into the mic, people will not be able to hear you.
I'm sure this is going to be a hospital.
I love you all. Love me back.
All right, so we ready for our first debate topic here, guys?
Yeah.
All right, our first debate topic. Waiting for a manga to finish before the anime, or making an anime before a manga is finished. All right, so I'm gonna make you guys argue for waiting for the manga to finish, and I'm gonna make you guys argue for making the anime before the manga finishes. Yes, you are for that. You are for waiting for the manga to finish.
Yeah, they should have like
Does that make sense? Do people understand the question?
they should have 2 minutes to discuss.
And yes, you guys have a couple of minutes to discuss before arguments.
We're saying we should wait.
I have a question.
Yes.
Question.
Can they research online if they have questions?
Yeah, there's no rule against researching online.
Yeah, if you guys don't know exactly what the anime is, if it's a
They're not
specific
asking.
reference, you guys are more than welcome to look things up and Google things around a little bit. Yes. And then I gave you guys
I'm going to start the timer for you guys. So you have 2 minutes to discuss starting now.
in touch.
You're not anymore. It's not my opinion.
Is there anyone who would actually
So for like non-anime manga people, this would be like Game of Thrones. Do we write the Game of Thrones TV show first, or do we let the bazillion books finish and then directly follow the books? So they are going to argue, they're going to debate our two teams here, and then you guys, the audience, is going to decide who won the debate. So I'm going to need you guys to be impartial here. This is not based off of what you personally feel, but who gave the better argument. Does that sound good?
You guys have 45 seconds left unless you're ready.
Soul Eater manga. They made Soul Eater
Can I get the person that wrote the question about anime cars up here real quick? All right, so our time is up. I'm gonna have our team right here who is arguing for waiting for the manga to come out and then finishing the anime. Go ahead and start off our debate topic, guys.
All right, so we all like a good story, right? Everybody likes a good story. When you let a story finish, a coherent start to finish, like plot line, then you get that out of the way, then you move on to the anime. You've got already your pacing set up, you've got a solid ending in mind. I mean, like you mentioned, look at Game of Thrones. I mean, the books, they're only on what, book 5, or season 5? The ending, we can all agree, was left a lot to be desired, right? George R. R. Martin, I'm sure, is gonna change it now that he's at the books. This is such a crap show. Manga, we'll use me for an example, JoJo's. I mean, these things came out, what, in the 90s? And they didn't start making the shows till just recently. They've got it all, beautiful pacing. They've got the endings for the parts, start and finish, laid out already for you. You can enjoy your story. You don't have to worry about plot holes, no retconning. You know, you do something later, and you're trying to balance manga, anime. You know, the manga's, you know, a few chapters, a few books ahead of the anime. That's new animation you got to do. If you got to change it, things might not line up. That's all right. Yeah.
In Soul Eater, they made the show while they were writing the manga still. And the Soul Eater TV show, the ending is absolute trash. It's incoherent, it makes no sense, but the manga has a solid ending with a solid story, while the TV show is full of plot holes. I love it, don't get me wrong, but it needed a better ending, and they needed to
We got about 30 seconds.
finish before starting to make the TV show, and then ending up with Soul Eater Not, which is not fun.
I enjoy that show.
All right, is that it? Do we have anything else? You got about 20 seconds.
I could always use my stand to give us some more time.
like 3 seconds.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and stop the timer, and then we're going to give it to our other team. Alright, so this team is arguing for making the anime before the manga is finished. So go ahead and start off that debate, guys.
So for anime, none of us like to wait, correct? So let's say we waited for One Piece to finish. Like, are we gonna do that? So no. So that's why fillers are there, and you know, that's why I don't mind that they rush it, even though it's bad, because it's a memory. That's why we can bring up Game of Thrones season 8, like it was trash, you're right. But it's a memory that'll stick with us for years, and we'll bring it back over and over, because it's that bad. So it's like, I don't mind them that they can finish animes first, because we don't want to wait to see who the waifu is. We want to know now, you know? So we need to know. So that's why I think it's okay that they should finish it before the manga. and that's where I stand with that.
Okay.
Alrighty, is that it? Do we have any more arguments? You got a minute left, guys.
Oh, we have a minute?
Yeah, we just got about a minute.
Huh? Okay. Yeah, that's basically it. It's just, we can't wait. We want to know now.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and stop the timer. Now we're gonna have this
She does
side.
have something.
Oh, okay, go for it.
For me, like an anime.
Speak directly into the mic for
Oh,
me.
sorry. For me, like an anime has like emotions, colors, and you know, it. I guess it just. You know, you can connect better with an anime because you can watch it. You can see tears coming out. You can see laughter, everything. That's why I think like an anime should finish first.
Oh yeah, and to add on to that note, I don't know if you guys have read Demon Slayer. So if you've read Demon Slayer compared to the anime, like the animation is just, that's what makes it, you know, a great anime. So that's
Alright, that's time, guys. Alright, so we're gonna have our team over here rebut. Do you guys have anything to say back to that argument?
I mean, we're going to talk about things that are memorable just for bad, leaving a bad taste in our mouth. I could always reference the movie that shall not be named, live adaptation.
Which one?
Exactly.
Take this from you.
They say that TV shows will give you more emotions than the manga or the storyline, which I strongly disagree with. Because if you're reading a book, and it's a good book, and you're genuinely emotionally invested in it, and that book is sad, you're gonna cry. You're gonna have that imagination for those characters. The drawings in the manga just help that imagination come to life, while also leaving your mind free to roam and make your own decisions about how those characters look, maybe that portray to your personal life, and give you a personal attachment and relation to the manga. Hurts to breathe.
You got anything else, guys? We got about a minute left, about 58 seconds.
Nobody wants a bad taste left in their mouth, whether it's a show or an anime. There's just so many bad tastes. Just give me a good ending.
I think a lot of the differences from anime and a manga come when they're coming out in that simultaneous schedule, and then that's what they're. I mean, that's not always the worst thing when they're a lot different, but for the most part, usually that can cause a schism. If that's how you pronounce that, between us weebs.
That's at least a 50-cent word right there.
And you know how fired up we get about stuff, so.
All right, we're gonna throw it back to our team over here, and then we're gonna have closing arguments. So do you guys have anything to say back to that?
So yeah, so talking about, a bad taste in your mouth. Like, it's a part of our culture. Like, you saw our reaction when we said live adaptation. It's not good. And it's like something a part of anime culture. Like, we know Dragon Ball Evolution. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about The Last Airbender by Shyamalan. I believe so. Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan?
That was bad. That was horrible. Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson.
I like that.
Well, it's one
Yeah,
of the
unpopular
better
opinion.
live action.
I didn't hate that
but,
movie.
They made Modern Chin.
That's true. Yeah, but it's like, it sticks with us. Oh, Anita, yeah, that's another one. So yeah, all I'm saying is that even though it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, it's in your mouth. You remember that.
Bro. You guys still have a full minute if you have any other arguments.
And then I don't disagree with how you're saying that manga, if it's sad, it'll make you cry. Like I believe that. Like, I read Assassination Classroom before it finished, and it made me cry. And it's, but animation, like, you guys can see it, like, it adds way more to that. Like, I do understand it's also with your, the way you think and your imagination, but the music, along with the voice acting, like, it just makes it stand out way much more.
Yeah,
in my
30
opinion.
seconds.
And yeah.
You still got 30 seconds if you have anything.
Yeah, with animes, you can see like personality, movement. It's easier to make a connection. That's it.
All right, so we're gonna do closing arguments. So we're gonna come back to our team over here for a 1-minute closing argument, and then I'm gonna have you guys, the audience, vote on who gave the better argument. And like I said before, this is not what you guys feel, but who you think gave the better argument, not your opinion on the topic. All right, go ahead, guys.
It seems we kind of like by the end started to mold this into anime versus manga, so I'm going to try to bring this right back to the original, and just our firm point is that we're all about a good coherent story, a well-written story, and I think watching the anime that is based off a complete start to finish well-written story is always going to hit harder to home and draw more attention, and I think just be a better quality product than one that is trying to keep up with its source material as it comes out.
Side note, less plot holes. Nobody likes plot holes. Oh my god, filler.
All right, is that it, guys?
Yeah, that is our closing remark.
All right, next team, closing arguments. Hit us.
Alright, so for our closing argument, it's the one fact that we don't want to wait. You know, we just want to watch it now. That's it.
That's it. All right, short to the point. I like it. All right, audience, I'm gonna need your guys' help. So I'm gonna start with teams Jay's fault. It's Jay's fault. It's Jay's fault. Do you guys think this team won? 4, 5, 6? Oh, I'm counting a whole 6. All right, and then what was it? Miku. Team Miku. Who thinks Team Miku won? All right, that's a pretty easy one right there. Thank you for participating, guys. I do have some candy and or snacks if you guys want to come down right here.
Thank you guys. That was fun.
And I'm gonna have you guys stay up on stage for me.
Strong opponent. Where's the next enemy stand user out there?
Yeah, so it's elimination. So unless you guys get knocked out, you guys are up here. And then if you guys want candy and snacks, right here.
I know you're good.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna give it to these guys because I know they were here earlier.
We just had to be the first ones to die.
Yeah, if we have teams that are smaller than 2, I would suggest teams of 2 combined together, or if there's anybody that wants to be on a team that needs a team, go ahead and find each other in the audience. So this gentleman right here, he needs a team. If there's a team that is a team of 3, or just a couple individuals that wants to join a team for argument.
Who needs a team?
I need to. Okay. So us 3. Yeah, us 3. So it's not 3.
It's max teams of 4. Okay, so we're gonna shorten it a little bit because that took longer than we thought. All right, so our next topic of debate is gonna be viewpoint on anime cars, and this is real cars wrapped with anime, whatever, anime idols, Miku cars,
You just chose us because you like cars.
I do like cars, but it was a question that I was given. I do like cars. All right, so I'm gonna have Team Miku here argue against anime wrapped cars. And I need a team name for you guys.
We're Team Joe.
Team Joe. All right, I'm gonna have Team Joe argue for anime cars. So I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute to discuss, and then we'll start the debate. We need to shrink it to 1 minute to go faster.
1 minute. Okay, go.
Memorize.
I mean, I understand. I got back from Canada, and then the first time we went on 3
I would say, I think it really depends on what you're trying to like, you know, if you're working for a full.
All right, we got about 5 seconds. Are we ready, teams?
Working in a parking lot every day, it's probably better than not.
All right, so just a reminder for the audience, we've got for on this side and against on this side. I want to start with the for team. What is your argument for anime wrapped cars?
So anime wrapped cars, when you own one, it shows that you enjoy these things, that you're proud to enjoy these things, and that's very important. When you're watching anime, some people might be reluctant, but it's important to show that you enjoy it. That's why we're all here today, because we enjoy anime, and wrap cars are just another way of showing that you're proud to watch it, you're proud to enjoy it, you know? And
You have no fear in like sharing like your interests in certain characters or certain animes, and that way you can make more connections with other people and find other people who may like the same thing.
You guys have 30 seconds if you want to go with anything else. Is that it? That's going to be your opening argument? All right, sounds good. All right, so Team Miku, argue against anime wrapped cars for me.
I mean, I know it's gonna be a hard sell because I'm in a room full of weebs. I mean, I'm a weeb, you know, I'm clearly dressed up. I have no shame showing off what I love, but this is being done in environments with like-minded people. Even I post my stuff on Instagram, it's still, you know, people are seeing that who want to see it. I'm not dressing up as Jotaro and going grocery shopping and subjecting the general public to that. Same with my car. You can't control, you have to drive that thing point A to point B everywhere you go. Sure, it looks good to you or to other people, but it's gonna look bad to a lot more people. And they're not gonna understand it. Hell, that could even draw some unnecessary attention to your car that you don't want drawn. The other main point would just be resale value. I know a lot of those, 99% of these weeb cars are gonna be on, you know, some two-door drifters, you know, GT86, an NSX, something like that. You're not gonna have that forever, especially if you need to start a family or something like that. You're not gonna be driving your little kid out in the back, you know, pulling donuts in the Asuka Weebmobile.
All right, that's our argument. That's 1 minute. Alrighty, so Team 4, we're gonna have you argue or rebut to that for me.
for showing it to the general public, not everyone's going to agree with what you like. Nobody's ever going to agree with everything you like. That's just part of life. Yeah, it's a little bit flamboyant, it's a little bit out there, but it's just a way of expressing who you are. And even if other people don't like it, the important part is that you like it. Now, for practical use in the future, yeah, it gets a little shaky, to be honest. But if you love anime, chances are the person you're like, they enjoy anime. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I've seen families, Oh wait, yeah, wraps can be removed. Yeah, sorry. Wait, wraps can be removed. Wait, yeah, you can just remove the wrap. Like in the future, you can just remove it. That's why it's called a wrap. Right. Well, in the future, when you have a family, you got a child. Let's say they don't like anime. Your significant other doesn't like anime. Just take it off. Yeah. When you're going to a convention, you gotta show off your wrap. But then, once you're done, you can just take it off. You know? You don't have to keep it on your car all the time.
All right, that's 1 minute, guys. All right, Team Miku, we're gonna get your rebut, and then we're gonna have closing statements.
I'm gonna say something. On a completely professional level, if you have an office job, are you gonna roll up to your office job in Miku Mobile? No, it's completely unprofessional, and it's gonna give your company a bad rap, which can affect your career.
And just on the note of, you can remove it, like that, it's a huge process to get that thing on. Those things are expensive, especially if you're doing it the right way. And if you are doing it the right way, you're really not gonna wanna have to go through the process of taking it off and potentially damaging your car if you're not doing it the right way, and not paying somebody to do it, because again, stuff's expensive. And just the effort of, I gotta go, 9 to 5 this week, we're taking my half-naked Ray off the side of my car. Then, we're going to the con this week and gotta put it back on. It's a lot of wasted time, it's a lot of wasted money. And honestly, if you're gonna go, you might as well go all the way and not waste everybody else's time and money.
All right, that's 1 minute. All right, so Team J. It was Jay or Joe? Joe. Team Joe. Team Joe, give me your arguing statement, or closing statements, and then we're gonna have the audience decide.
So for your raps, you take it out, it's expression of yourself. If you like this anime, you put it on your car. You can take it on and off for conventions, since I don't believe most of us are going to conventions every single weekend to where we'd have to do it all the time. And it's only just when you want to really show off, So for the rap car, it's expressive of you. It allows you to show off what you like, allows other people to see what you like. They may not enjoy it, they may not agree with you, but it's about you. It's about that you like it. And you get to show it off sometimes, it's not something like, oh, you do it all the time, You just sometimes have to show it off, to just show everyone that you like it.
All right, Team Miku, closing statements.
The thing is, it is all the time, unless you pay the hundreds of dollars that it costs to get it removed and put it
Thousands.
back on. Thousands, wow, okay. That, to put it on and take it off, whenever you go to cons or whenever you're at work trying to have a career with a Miku-mobile, come on.
Honestly, we're just arguing. Yes, we all enjoy this kind of stuff. We have no problem expressing our interests, but there is a line, and we try to stay just right behind it.
Alrighty, that it? Alright guys, I'm gonna have you guys vote. So I'm gonna start with Team 4 anime cars on this side.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We've got about 24. And then team against anime cars. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Keep your hands up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I think Team 4 won by 1 vote. Wow. So that would be Team Joe.
Yada yada.
I would like to point 2 things out about anime rap cars. 1, a lot of people that have cars that are like that is not their daily driver. They don't use that car every day. 2, it's a lot more than a couple $100s to get it on or off. I'm gonna need Team Joe. I need you guys to stay up here.
I want candy.
Yeah, there's candy if you guys want to grab some candy. All right, I need another team. Who do I have here? I'm gonna go with you 2. Is it just you guys?
It's us 2, yeah.
I need a team of 4, so if it's you 4, that works. Come on down, you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little tight. Alrighty, I specifically pulled this one to the top because I like it. So, our argument is FMA, so Full Metal Alchemist, versus FMA Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So, what's your guys' team name? Zero's Requiem. Alright, so I'm gonna have Zero's Requiem argue for FMA, for Full Metal Alchemist. And I'm gonna have Team Joe argue for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. You guys ready to discuss? You've got 1 minute, go ahead.
It wasn't as happy.
Thank you guys for coming.
If you want to go ribbon station, they'll be able to help you reattach it. Where's the ribbon station? So you're going to go down the stairs, and like in this aisle, it's down ways, and it'll show for you. No, it's not in a booth. Can you bring 101? Yeah.
Your friends.
And that's why it's more interesting. Yeah, which helps develop characters. It's a really nice place to live in life. Yeah. I'll talk about
Got about 5 seconds, guys. All right, that's time, guys. Ready for our argument? It's time, guys. I need you guys to argue. You ready? All right, so I'm gonna have you guys go first for Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay, well, there's a lot of reasons that FMA was better than FMA Brotherhood. One of them was the homunculi. In FMA, the original, the homunculi were born of the sins of the people who created them. So the characters, they literally had to face the living embodiment of their sins, which made for a very interesting character analysis because they had to tackle their fears literally presented to them in the moment, in big fights, in a deeply personal level, which really helps kind of bring out their character more and sort of connect with them emotionally.
Going outside the anime itself, FMA is better than Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because at the time it was made, creators weren't as pressured about what their audience was thinking. They were up for more creative interpretation of what they wanted, not what everyone else wanted. That made deeper storylines, more expansive characters, and a better ending.
All right, you got 5 seconds. All right, that's time, guys. All right, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Give me your opening statements.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, although it's newer, so it wasn't in their time era where they had to pay more attention to what the audience wanted. They allowed them to focus more on the important and aesthetic parts, like the animation and the soundtrack. The soundtrack for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I've heard some of it, and I think it's way better than the original Full Metal Alchemist. It gives you more of a feeling for the anime. It makes you enjoy it more because the soundtrack is better, and it's just when you have a good soundtrack to an anime, it just brings it to life more. It brings it more.
Got about 20 seconds.
It makes you enjoy it more. It just makes it better. And Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood just had a better soundtrack, so I think it makes the anime better.
Is that it, you guys?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so Full Brother Alchemist, give me your rebut statement.
I see that you mentioned the soundtrack multiple times in your opening statement. The problem with that is that yes, you can have a good soundtrack, you just can't use the same songs over and over and over again. That is the FMA Brotherhood soundtrack. I can't even count how many times I heard the same song. It's almost like if I knew what the scene was going to be about, I know the song. And that can't be the case. It needs to be more flexible. It cannot be the same thing over and over and over again. Because that just breaks the whole, what's happening, and it's making me think the mood is totally off.
And also, so their main point, their entire opening statement was only about the soundtrack, and we sort of went over the story about how the homunculi were, more significant, how the ending was more significant, the creative process was different. And I think all those things combined are much more important than a soundtrack, which is important, but compared to the story, the characters, the emotional connection you form, those are much more important aspects of a show and how you enjoy it.
That's time. All right, so I'm gonna get one more rebut and then closing statements. Go ahead for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was a longer anime. It had, I think, 64 more episodes than the original. So there's more of it to enjoy. So when there's more of it to enjoy, you're gonna enjoy it more. And it was more true to the manga. So being more true to the manga, being longer, having a better soundtrack, I think that can make for a more enjoyable experience. Short and sweet, yeah, it's great, but then it gets cast aside to the memories. When it's longer, when it has more in it, when it has more substance, I think it makes for a better anime, one you can enjoy far more than something with an alright soundtrack. Like, you remember these songs, and for it being used multiple times, certain songs are used multiple times because they're pretty good. If you have the same song used multiple times, it can get kind of old, but also a lot of animes have to do too. Like, My Hero, they use a lot of the same songs for a lot of their fights. And you know what's going to happen.
Alrighty, I'm gonna get your closing statements from Full Brother and then Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Full Brother. And then we're gonna have you guys vote. Go for it.
Okay, so first point, FMA Brotherhood is 64 episodes. The original is somewhere between 40 to 50, so there weren't 64 more episodes. There's only 64 total. But I think that a sweeter story is better than a longer story. And with regards to the story, the ending of FMA, which actually had the movie concluded, it was more true to the themes because it wasn't a happy ending. It was morally ambiguous. It was sort of dark. It wasn't perfectly happy. It kind of matched with the sadness of the entire story.
So in summation, if I dare say, I think we have a relatively definitive answer to the question, which is better, Full Metal Alchemist or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
All right, is that closing arguments? All right, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Give me your closing arguments.
Short but sweet. It can be better. But when it is a good anime, I think we can agree that Full Metal is a pretty good anime. It's drawn out. It makes it, there's more to enjoy. And when the soundtrack is good, the soundtrack is good to enjoy. So with that, it has a better soundtrack. It may not have been as dark, but sometimes I don't always want it to be super dark. I don't want everyone to end up dying at the end of every anime like some things. And I think a brighter story sometimes makes for a better one. And I think that's what Brotherhood did, and I think Brotherhood can arguably be better.
All right, is that it?
Yeah.
All right, that was a very cute and Americanized argument. All right, audience, I'm gonna need you to give me your votes. I'm gonna start with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood on this side. Anybody votes? The pity votes. Thank you, guys. And FMA, the original. Thank you, guys.
Fatality.
All right, you guys, stand up if you want to go down to my lovely girlfriend down there. There's Indian snacks.
I actually like Brotherhood better.
So do I.
Same.
See, but that's the point of the debate. It doesn't matter what your personal opinion is, it's about the argument. What can you argue better? Your opinion does not matter. Alrighty, I need another team for me. Sonic Head team. Gotta go fast.
We need one more spot.
No, you need three, right? We could have one more. Johnny.
Oh, it's good.
All right, you guys ready to hear the next debate topic? So our next debate topic is pandering to otaku killing anime? Or I should say pandering to otaku culture.
Japan or America?
It does not specify. I'm gonna leave that open-ended. The teams can specify if they would like. All right, so I'm gonna have, what was it, Zero's Requiem. I'm gonna have you guys argue that pandering to otaku culture is killing anime, and I'm gonna have, what is your team name? Team Sonic. All right, I like it. It's fast. I'm gonna have you guys argue that it is not killing anime.
Starting the timer.
It shows that he's copying each other.
Exactly. There becomes
it's killing creativity.
Give me like 10 seconds.
All right, guys, that's time. We ready for our arguments? All right, I'm gonna start with Team Sonic over here. They are arguing that it is not killing anime, that pandering to otaku culture is not killing anime.
Okay. So, a couple of things we want to say. One, what? Hi. Hello. Okay. So, there's two sides to what we want to say. The business side and the creative side. On the business side, pandering to otaku culture is good for anime because it indulges the audience. It brings in more money, ultimately, and more money means more anime. On the creative side, while some could argue that, you know, maybe shows that pander to otaku culture are not the greatest, they're not the only shows out there. So even if you don't like the super popular stuff, it's not killing anime as a whole, because there's still a lot of good, creative, artistic, dare I say, things going on out there. You just have to look a teensy bit harder. And so, for those reasons, no, we do not think pandering to otaku culture is killing anime at all.
All right, that's time. All right, Team Zero Requiem, argue against that. Give me why it is killing, or otaku culture is killing anime.
I do very much believe that it is killing anime. I mean, I believe you can all take a look at the spate of recent isekai animes, all coming on the back of one another. That's just pandering. And then you get to things like fan service, beach episodes, hot spring episodes. You're getting predictable. Where's the new stuff? I mean, that's why Kimetsu no Yaiba was so popular. It's something we haven't seen before. It's something that decided to go out of their way, get on UFO table, actually do something beautiful rather than deciding to go with the constant meta of, oh, this is a shonen where your main protagonist is blah, 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 searching the Grand Line.
It's also stopping a lot of new people from getting into anime, people who aren't part of otaku culture and either don't get it or don't like the sort of fan service things. Like, for example, a show like My Hero, I think is an excellent story, but a lot of people would just be like cringy at the meta stuff.
That's time. All right, Team Sonic, give me your rebut.
So otaku culture isn't necessarily just what's found within anime. You have to realize that otaku culture is everything that surrounds it, the fan culture, the things that people create surrounding anime and other related media. So it's like cosplay, for example, is like otaku culture. It's something that we invest ourselves in because we enjoy it. This was an argument in the previous debate. But going beyond that, like Kimetsu no Yaiba is popular because it was an original thing, but there's a lot of people that took that and like they began interpreting it for themselves. That's what otaku culture is also about.
And another point is, yeah, it might be the same thing, but that's what works, and it's nostalgia, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, liking the same thing and liking what you like all the time.
Also,
that's time, guys. All right, go ahead, Team Zero Requiem.
Okay, I'd just first like to say that in your opening statement, you had said that it is kind of like the show makes money because of those things. That is not why a show should be making money. It should be making money because of its creative process. You said that that's what sells. That doesn't matter. There's a reason why the older anime are more popular than the newer ones, because they use their creative storytelling and characters to sell their merchandise. Anime is not a brand, it's supposed to be a story.
Also, I think it does matter when you do the same things over and over, because when I'm watching a show and it's really good, like say Attack on Titan, I get completely engrossed by the story. I forget everything else is going on. I forget I'm living in the real world, this is a fake world. And when you go into a cliche that I recognize instantly, it takes me out of the zone of watching the show.
I will also just like to point out that when you
I'm gonna let him finish.
When you focus more on the otaku culture and trying to pander to the fans and everything like that, you're just leaving absolutely no room for story, for character, or anything. It just becomes cliche after cliche after cliche with no room for any storytelling. And that's what we're here to watch anime for, right? These stories, these characters that we love so much.
Alrighty, Team Sonic, give me your rebut, and then we're gonna have closing statements. And I'm gonna give you guys an extra 30 seconds or so as well.
In terms of cliches, all stories use cliches. Just because they're included in stories doesn't mean that they're bad necessarily. Like, a story could be filled with cliches and still be an enjoyable piece of work.
Also, you mentioned that money shouldn't be made because it panders, or but that it should be about creativity. Maybe, but unfortunately that's not the reality we live in. So, yeah, making money is important, and while perhaps you could say, like, yeah, maybe it shouldn't be like that, but it is, so you gotta work with that.
Alrighty, is that it, guys?
If I may also add, because of the fan service, I feel like voice actors are getting more credit, and basically not based on their salary alone, but based on the fan service and the popularity. I think they're able to make sustainable living.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna have Team Zero Requiem. Give me your closing statements.
So, in conclusion, I would just like to say that, in short, the reason why it's killing, pandering to otaku culture is killing anime, is that it completely snuffs out the story aspect of anime, which is why most of us got into it in the first place. And he did mention that that it's the reality that we live in today, but that's exactly the point. It shouldn't be the reality that we live in. It's gotten to the point where if you don't do it, anime just dies on the spot. It's just killing anime. It'll just die on the spot if we don't have a Beach episode or a Hot Springs episode.
And by catering to only one culture, you're leaving people out of another culture, which if we go back to the money, it's leaving out potential sales of new customers. And if you go back to people just in general, they're missing out on a lot of great stories because they have these negative stereotypes of anime, which as anime fans, we all know that people have these negative stereotypes that often aren't true. And we try to tell people we have really amazing stories that we follow and we would love to show you, but we can't because you don't like the stuff.
Alright, Team Sonic, give me your closing statements.
Specifically in response to the if we stop doing it, it would die. That would, by your definition, mean that pandering to otaku culture is keeping it alive as opposed to killing it.
And basically, in conclusion, there's nothing wrong with stability. There's nothing wrong with basically giving the fans what they want and making a stable earning.
Finally, no matter what criticisms or negatives to pandering to otaku culture our opponents may have raised, none of those in my eyes definitively show that it is killing anime. Perhaps harming it, but I mean, we're all here, and there are good shows out there, so yeah.
Alrighty, I'm gonna have the audience vote. I'm gonna start with Team Sonic, that it is not killing anime.
5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13.
So I've got 13, and then Team Zero Requiem, that it is killing anime. Otaku culture is killing anime.
14.
So that means Team Zero's Requiem does win. Thank you guys for playing. If you guys want to come down to my lovely girlfriend, she's got some snacks. Alright, we're gonna have one more round, so I need one last team. Have you guys, is it just you two? Just you, are you sure you want it to be just you? I want more than a couple of people on stage.